Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. If you have a question for Coach, please raise your hand and we will get started. Any questions for Coach? Jen?
Hey, Coach, how's it going?
Good, thanks.
Just to clarify, with Leilani coming back, did she go home to Australia or where's she flying in from?
I don't know. Sorry.
No worries.
I don't think that she could have gone home to Australia with all the quarantine rules very easily. If she did, it would have been really brief.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then I was like, so where in the world did she go? But we'll have to ask her when she gets.
Well, she has family in the States too, so.
And then yesterday I saw some pictures that looked fun from a gumbo class, but I also saw Shavante Zellis in a boot.
Yes, you did. I was not here yesterday for the cooking thing, so I was out of town for a funeral, so I wasn't able to take part. But Shavante sprained her ankle on Monday, and she's in a boot. We'll see where it is. Probably not going to play at least the next couple games. So
sorry for your loss.
It's not one thing; it's another.
Any other surprises on the injury front?
Some bumps and bruises. We, pulled some people a little bit earlier in practice today. We'll see where we are come Friday. We've limited, this is our third day in a row. And so given the schedule we've been on, Maisha and Erica and Elena all have a certain number of reps on the court before we pull them off. So luckily we had guys today and we could get some stuff done, but we're really monitoring that as we go.
I'm just curious, what are your thoughts on how the schedule looks for you all coming out of the break? Is there any advantage to getting this West Coast road trip out of the way at the beginning, or playing 2 games in a row against Vegas? Like, how are you thinking about that from kind of a strategy?
The strategy is really only just deal with the next game. And then I've thought about, that we play 8 games in 16 days, how to manage the days in between games. That's the tough balance for us to try to do proper rest, but also work on something that needs to be worked on, and then also prepare for the next opponent. And so that's kind of what our coaching staff has been talking through the last couple of days of how we're going to handle that. And some of it's going to be just basically looking at our team and saying, hey, we need a break here. We need, maybe there might be somewhere in the middle of this, hey, we're not going to practice today. We're just going to watch film and shoot, and then we'll do our preparation and shoot around the next day. That's just something we're going to have to see as we go. I mean, I'm glad that we have more games to play than anybody else because we can make up some ground. But at the same point, we're playing a tight schedule. As far as starting on the road, I don't have a feeling one way or the other. I mean, I wouldn't have raised my hand to say, hey, let's play Vegas the first game on the road, until we had a couple of days of practice with everybody. But that's just what it is. So we'll deal with it.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Tyler?
Hey, Coach, this isn't your first rodeo with having Olympians come back and then get the season restarted. Are there any obstacles from your past history of maybe getting them re-ingrained with the team, or what is the biggest one, if there is any?
Well, I think the good thing about it is that this Olympics has been a little bit different in a couple ways. Number one, the break was 5 weeks. And so they had this extra week right now coming back. It used to be, I know when I did it in 2008, we played on Saturday, flew overnight from China on Sunday. I got home to my house on Monday, like at 5 o'clock at night or 6 o'clock. And we played a game the next evening at 7. Luckily, these guys are coming back. Everybody played on Tuesday back then. Now nobody's playing until Sunday. So our players have been able to get away for a few days. I know Tina and Ariel both went home. And so there's a little bit of a mental break. The other thing that's been different is in this Olympics, they only had to play every 3rd day until they got to the medal round. They played 3 preliminary games. It used to be different that you had your pool, you had 2 pools instead of 3. And so you played 5 prelim games before the medal round. So they've played 2 less games. And so I think that helps from a rest standpoint. And unless you have a coach that, in the Olympics that makes you practice crazy every day, which I don't think Dawn did, you aren't as beat up maybe coming back from the Olympics. And then luckily, for us in a sense that, and for most of the teams in the US, that players didn't have to play huge minutes every night. I know that Brianna Stewart did, but I wish we were playing Seattle first and let her be tired. But as a general rule, I mean, they're not playing the same minutes they played every night in our league. So between the extra week and the less number of games, hopefully they can get a chance to get a little bit more refreshed than normal. But they're also coming off a high too of a great experience, and a lot of times that can carry over into you carry that good play into your WNBA team when you come back.
Is there any concern about the jet lag going from Tokyo to DC and to Vegas?
Yeah, I mean, I did it. I definitely felt it for a while, but they have been back in the US now for 3 or 4 days, and by Sunday they should get a little bit acclimated, although we're turning around and flying going a couple time zones here. So I don't know what time zone at 3 o'clock Vegas time on Sunday any of our players will be on.
Thank you, Coach.
Wilson?
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Good.
I've heard a couple of players, I think yourself, earlier this week just mentioned everyone just getting back used to reintegrating, players coming back from injuries, and how the spacing has been affected. How do you feel like that's going in terms of getting back or getting to the direction you would like to be? We know how much spacing, how big of a role it plays for you guys when everything's going right.
Yeah, I mean, I think that obviously has been an emphasis. The hardest part is that not once for our team have Elena and Tina ever practiced together. Don't even know whether Elena is going to play or not, but that'll be a little bit of figuring out to do. If we were to play a bigger lineup sometimes with Maisha at the 3, figuring out that spacing. I don't think it's just going to be an easy transition for us. I think it's going to take some time. But it's the alternative is not good to not have those players out there too. So if we can keep adding healthy, good players back into the lineup, we'll figure it out. But it's going to take time.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
You bet.
Tosh will be up shortly. We will start with Kareem.
Hey, Tosh, how are you?
Good, Kareem. How are you?
Good. I know sounds like you were a little sore today. Just want to ask, first off, just how are you feeling? Did something specifically happen, or just kind of a little bit wear and tear and got sore on you?
Just wear and tear. We've gone really, really hard these last 3 weeks. So my body is definitely feeling it. Just doing what I can to make sure that I'm ready for Sunday's game, and we'll go from there. But it also doesn't help when our testing fucks up our routines and getting in the gym and getting proper treatment, because our health and safety is not a priority to this league.
Ooh. How does that get corrected?
Our league needs to actually test us and make sure that we're safe, that we're healthy. We're in the middle of a pandemic. It hasn't gone anywhere. There is a Delta variant that is attacking vaccinated people. There is a new variant that the vaccination does not even fight off. So when we come in and we're doing our own test and we only have 2 boxes to do the testing of 12 players and however many staff players, that pushes us all back. So an 11:30 practice now gets pushed back because we need proper treatment and care. We get taken out of our routines because we have to wait 30 minutes for this test to come about and have our results. So it's a shit show. It's an absolute shit show.
Sorry to hear. Sounds like you're pretty frustrated. I can understand that.
Just want to play basketball and be safe. That's it. That's all I want to do.
I get it. And just one last thing for me, I just kind of an overall question. Just kind of going into the second half real quick, what was your message to the team? I know they were talking earlier in the week that you said, okay, let's put that first half in the rear view and make this run. I know you guys have an opportunity in front of yourselves. How do you start this, tough stretches that you guys are about to start here?
0-0. It's going to be the tale of two seasons for us. The first half, I think a lot of people are counting us out, but we haven't been healthy. We haven't had a full squad. We've made changes to our team. We've had players come in and only have about, a month or so to play with us, but just kind of getting thrown into things. So these 3 weeks were good for us to kind of just have like another training camp to get Sid, Meg, Bird, all those players adjusted to, who we are as the Mystics. This is how we play. And then just to learn each other, like we really haven't learned each other. So this 3 weeks was good for that. Our team is really, really close. We genuinely love and care about each other. So this second half of the season with healthy bodies is going to be a completely different season.
Cool. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Kareem.
Jen.
Hey, Tasha, I actually was planning to ask you a little bit about the COVID testing. So thanks for sharing. How often right now is the league testing you guys?
Twice a week. So we tested today and then we will test again on Friday morning. That's a progression. I appreciate getting tested. We should be tested, but the manner in which we're being tested, we have one trainer that's in charge of 12 players to get them ready, treatment, all those things before practice. And now she has another job of being our COVID tester as well. So it really just is, she's doing the best she can. We appreciate her. But we have someone upstairs, a part of a whole company that it is their job to test, and we can't go to them because the W said that we're not allowed to. And these tests aren't reliable. These are the same tests that the Wizards players just tested with. All of them showed up negative, and they go to Vegas and 6 are positive. So the accuracy of these tests too are in question. So again, do players and their health matter in this league? Because they don't.
Thanks. And then just one other question on a very different note. So pardon the swing, but I know that you've been beating the drum for Ariel Atkins throughout the season. So I just wanted to ask you, what it was like for you seeing her play in the Olympics and win a gold medal.
Everything. It's the first time you're probably going to see me smile on camera, but it's everything. I remember when A came in as a rookie, just being able to sit, because at that time we were still having roommates if you were under 5 years. So being able to be her roommate, just learn who she was as a person, as a human being, and then as a player. She's just a phenomenal and most genuine person, the hardest worker that I've ever met. And she deserves all of this. She deserves every bit of it. So to see someone that you genuinely love and care about, fulfill their dream, it's a really special moment for me.
Awesome. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Last question to Tyler.
Hey, Natasha, I want to ask about the break for you. Were you able to get away and try and decompress from basketball, or were you just
Absolutely.
trying to focus on getting your injury back up?
Yeah, absolutely. I did not touch a basketball over the 2-week break. I went home to Philly. I traveled, went to Cali for a little bit just to step away from it because it's been a really stressful first half of the season, obviously with like our team and the injuries, and then we're still playing in the middle of a pandemic. There's still our country is still at a really bad part when it comes to racial, gender, every type of equity. So it's been a really stressful first half of the season. So that 2-week break was really good for me to just take a step back and be reminded of what I'm grateful for and just kind of just reset myself for the second half.
And then have you been able to talk to the WNBA at all about where you feel the testing's inadequate?
So, I mean, I used to be a player rep. Our player reps now are Sid and AC. I know they have been doing their due diligence, which we appreciate. I've called our union rep on multiple occasions with being, still one of the main players on this team. So we're trying to do our part. It's the league meeting us. Our union is doing their part. So it's really about the league, both the NBA and the WNBA, making sure that, in the middle of a pandemic, I'm not sure why contracts weren't renewed. But, we control what we control.
Thank you.
That's all we have time for today. Thank you, Tosh.
Appreciate
Appreciate your
y'all.
time. We are off tomorrow, but we will